Hello and good morning friends, welcome to CEC EduSet live lecture. Dear friends, you know that since very long we have been talking a lot on development communication. We could say that this is a series on development communication under which we try to understand new concepts, ideas, theories, models, etc. etc. Today also we are going to talk on development communication. We are going to discuss about the meaning of development communication, the concept of development communication, what actually development communication is, what is development support communication, as well as I said, we are going to discuss about models and theories. Specifically, we are going to talk about participatory and diffusion model, as well as we are going to discuss about theories such as diffusion, empathy and entertainment. So dear friends, I would like to tell you all that once again we have with us in our studios Professor Devesh Kishore. He was professor in IIMC as well as he was Director Communication IGNOU. At present, he is Professor Emeritus with Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University for Journalism and Mass Communication, as well as he is Professor Emeritus with one of the private institutes of one of the leading channels. So first of all, I would like to welcome Professor Kishore, and I hope that this is going to be one of the another interesting session by Professor Kishore, because always he has some excellent examples with the help of which he always makes his students aware of the particular topics. Welcome to the EduSet lecture, sir.
Thank you very much. Well, friends, today we will be having mainly discussion on what is development communication, how do we perceive the meaning of development communication, what are its models, and what are its theories. As all of us know, development communication is a new word coined in 1972 by Cabral. It is the latest concept which has come in the field of communication. Development communication, as the name indicates, the use of communication for development of the society. It has been defined by several experts in different ways, but I find that one or two definitions which will make the point clear what development communication is. I would like to have discussion based on that. One thing is, it is called art and science of human communication. When we say art and science of human communication, it means basically we interact with the human beings in a way so that the development of individuals, society members takes place. So first thing is important, we use the techniques of science as well as in art, skills, communicating effectively to human beings. Number two, communicating in such a way by which planned transformation takes place in the society. The society which is basically having the element of poverty, ignorance, illiteracy, etc., to progressive society where these factors can be taken care of and the development takes place of the individuals who live in that society. Third thing is, the growth which should take place by development communication should have greater equality and larger unfolding of individual potentials. That means the members of the society who are there for development communication programs, their potentiality should be taken into account, and then on the basis of those potentials we should be able to develop the society. Therefore, development communication has three major important things. Number one is the art and science of human communication. Number two, to take the society, to take the individuals who are addressed by poverty, ignorance, illiteracy to the progressive society. And third thing is identify their potentials and use them and bring them in real sense a progressive society itself. Even the World Bank, who has been funding lot of projects on development communication, they have said that integration of strategic communication, they have added a word is strategic communication in development projects. That means the development projects which are being funded by World Bank for development of the society, there is a strategic communication policy which is being used, and this is based on understanding of indigenous realities. What does it mean, indigenous realities? Indigenous reality means whatever resources they have, the society has, the potentials they have, what they can do, and how they can be turned into a better society, how their skill can be sharpened, how their knowledge can be increased, and attitude can be changed so they become a better member of the society and society in overall progresses. So friends, development communication in this sense is a process which helps the society in growing towards the progress, betterment, better way of life and better use of technologies. Therefore, when we decide that this is a development communication process, then we will have to take into account the behavioral factors. What are the behavioral factors of individuals? Individual acts upon certain activities, they undertake the activities keeping their attitude, keeping their in mind their way of acting, predisposition to an act, that is the attitude of the people. That care has to be taken, and then we have to design the development projects. Therefore, in the development projects we have to communicate latest skills, knowledge, innovation to the members of the society. So, three important things in development communication, which is also part of development support communication. We support, help, give them, provide them latest skills, impart them knowledge and innovative practices so that they are able to increase their output. In development communication, these are the important inputs which are being used, and communication channels which are used for this can be existing communication channels. Existing means we already have radio, television, we have traditional media, all the existing channels can be used providing the communication input in development process. So therefore, that becomes the development support communication process itself. Now let us come, what are the models, conceptual models of development communication? Because we have already now accepted that application of communication technologies and processes to promote social change is basic fundamental thing involved in development communication. So development takes place through communication technology, that is a main theme of development communication process itself. Now we have analyzed several models which are being used in the country for development, and we find that there are two important models which are being used extensively by the development communicators. One model is called diffusion model, another model is called participatory model, Now the question is, what is diffusion model? Is diffusion extension of information? Is diffusion dissemination of information? What is diffusion? How do we define diffusion? Or what do we understand the word by diffusion? Actually, the first time the diffusion model was given a shape by Everett M. Rogers in 1962, and thereby he said, diffusion is a process in which information flows from one end, that is the communicator's end, to the users by way of using various type of inputs, and the information slowly passed to them. Actually, word diffusion, if you find, it comes out of extension work, it comes out of dissemination work, it comes out of the use of an input provided by communication channels, that is through which the information is diffused, is conveyed to them, to the users. That is the diffusion process. Now the diffusion model, which was developed in 1962 by Everett M. Rogers, and he wrote an interesting book on diffusion itself. And the second model which I named was a participatory model, and this model is based basically on the ideas which were released by Mr. Paul Ferraro in 1970. These are the two models which are internationally used in many of the development programs all over the world. In India, we are also using these two models. Let us understand what is diffusion model, what are the elements involved in diffusion model, what are the interventions used in diffusion model. As I said, diffusion model is transfer of information vertically, means from communicator ends to the user's end, the information flows, diffused. So therefore, how diffusion takes place? This diffusion takes place through various communication technologies. It could be channels, it could be other type of extension methods, it could be field publicity methods, it could be several methods, it could be traditional media. Now, in development process, we use different inputs. Why do we use inputs? Because the target audience to whom we want to communicate the information, they are widespread, their number is big. Therefore, to reach them through interpersonal communication method or individual communication method is very difficult. So therefore, we use those mass media through which we can reach them to a larger audience with a less time, and we have those technologies available which are being used by the audience, like your radio, like your television, or even newspaper. So you can multiply the information on that and send it to the receivers. Now this transfer of information which takes place through communication channels, what is our goal? Why do we communicate? Our goal is basically to develop the society, to develop the people, to see their potentials are used to maximum extent for the benefit of individuals as well as members of the society. So therefore, we develop for this goal development communication projects. I will discuss a little later what are these projects and how can be developed with the help of a case study. But now let us understand the concept involved in these projects, in development of these projects. Now, there are important things are intervention which we provide in that. We use various types of concepts like modernizations, diffusion of innovation, and entertainment process to education. I think here it will be better to understand the second model also, because in diffusion model we are based on the input of diffusion. In participatory model, the information exchange which takes place is through the process of participation. Each individual participates himself and then understand the innovations. Innovations means new technologies, new methods of doing things, whether it may be in agriculture, a new way of growing a particular variety of crop, or it may be a business, maybe carpentry is doing his work, or he may be mason. There are several ways of getting the work done effectively and at a faster speed. So, there are technologies are available. So, basically we give this technology by way of participation, not by way of diffusion. That means we organize the programs where we involve them, they come there for the program, they discuss in that program the people, and then the community is involved. So, here the involvement of the individuals by way of the participation is emphasized. Of course, it takes more time than the diffusion model. It is more expensive than the diffusion model. But once a person has participated in a program or in an activity, that lasts longer, because then he knows how to do it, and then he has cleared all the question which he has in mind through participation with the communicator itself. So, it is a sort of empowering education. We educate them. I think you understand the difference between education and literacy. Education is a process through which whatever profession, whatever work he is doing, he is able to learn certain basic fundamental things, instead of literacy which is based on learning of letters or words. Here the emphasis is in education that he should be able to understand the process. He may not go critically towards the writing and reading techniques. So, therefore, we empower them through educational process so that they can improve, they can use their potential, whatever potentials they have in a better way, and get the things improved as a member of the society. Therefore, in participatory model, the important thing is participation, involvement, discussion. These are the important things where the communicator will be, development communicator will be involved directly with them. Now, what are the effective uses of this? I will combine them, diffusion and participatory model, because both the models are meant for development communication, and many successful development projects have used both the models, keeping in view the society's historical, social, cultural, economic and indigenous background. You see, every society, wherever you work, or every community, wherever you work, you find they have their own history, they have their own social norms, rules, regulations, they have their own culture, they have their own economic system, and they have their own religious background. So, a development communicator will have to take into account all these important areas of the society so that he can put through the development messages in such a way that society does not get hurt, does not feel that this message is going to create problems with them, put them in a smoother way. So, therefore, the development communicator try to put the information in such a way which will match with the historical, social, cultural, economic and religious background of the communities or the society. If it does not, then there is a conflict. Then the basic purpose of development communication is lost. That means development communicator's responsibility is first to study all these various factors related to the society before communication starts. And after he has analyzed, after he has worked out all this, then try to see the message which he is going to release, does it match, does it take care of all these inputs. Remember, there is no single solution for a complex developmental problems, because each society has a lot of problems which are related to society members, and there cannot be a similar solution to all the societies. There has to be a localized mode of solution which is to be presented to the member of the society. Therefore, the communicator, development communicator must work out for each society separately the development model of communication, because for all the societies one development model will not work because of the difference in the society, types of society itself. So, the point is that development communicator must study the historical, social, cultural, economic and religious factors. Then after he has studied, then whatever development messages he wants to communicate, he should see that it does not come in the way or hurt any of this. Modify your message and present in such a manner so that they accept it. And once they accept it, then there are chances and many more chances that they will be used by the society members, by individuals. So, that is very important thing which has to be taken care of. The question is not which model is superior, whether participatory model is superior or diffusion model is superior. Both models are meant for development communication. The communicator himself will decide which will work, because there are different types of messages, different types of developmental activities, there are different types of target audience. Keeping all this in mind, he can have either a model which can be called diffusion model or participatory model, or he can combination of both diffusion and participatory. Nowadays in our country, both the models are being used in development projects, because it has been found that if you use both the models, then you are more effective than a person who has used only one model. So, to increase the effectiveness, both the models are used by development communicators in increasing the effectiveness of the whole project itself. So, this was about the models. Now, let us come to the theories of development communication. Naturally, when I said diffusion model, then this model must be based on diffusion theory. Now, diffusion theory was elaborated, as I said earlier, by Mr. Rogers in 1962, and later on he clarified, he added more dimensions to it in 1983, and that is called one of the most influential modernization theory. And according to him, he says, diffusion is a process by which new ideas are disseminated, leading to adoption or rejection. Actually, change is a slow process. I agree with Dr. Rogers when he says social change is a slow process. Yes, it is a slow process. People take time to accept new ideas. Some people who adopt early are very few, but most of the people wait before its adoption. What are going to be the impact of this innovations which have been released, which have been given to us? They always try to stick to their old methods, patterns of doing things, instead of jumping on a new idea. So therefore, the development communicator should try to understand that process. Don't get disheartened or desperate because change is going on a slow speed. Human beings do not change at very fast speed, while chemicals will change with fast speed. Human beings have set of ideas, they have their own value system, they have their own social system, and therefore when they take up the new practice, they all interact with their characteristics. So diffusion theory basically emphasizes on interpersonal communication channels, and that has been found very effective. That means communicator communicates to a leader, leader communicates to his friends, friends communicates to their friends, and like that the process goes on. Now this is a diffusion process. So what you should try to do as a development communicator, try to find out the people who are leaders of the society, communicate to them, and since they are leaders, they have a number of followers. Those followers will observe them, they are watching them, and they will get the information when they visit them about the innovation or new practices. That will be more convincing instead of development communicator going directly to the people. So the whole process of communication goes through diffusion process from top to the bottom. That is the whole vertical communication information. And this information flow goes or takes place slowly. It is not at fast speed. The development communicator should understand that the diffusion theory says it is a slow process. It takes place between the individuals. You have to start from the top. You have to identify a leader or leaders. You have to communicate to them, discuss with them, or you fix your own meetings where they come and you can have a discussion. So you can take a leading role as a development communicator and communicate them the information itself. Now let us understand the diffusion process, how it takes place. What are the stages of diffusion process? First stage of diffusion process is called awareness. Awareness means that first development communicator should make the people aware of the new technology, innovation or new practice through various communication channels. It could be interpersonal, it could be group, it could be mass channels of communication. Therefore, a group of or all the possible channels which are available should be used to create awareness about the new product. That means, first responsibility of development communicator is that he should make the people aware of about the innovations. If people do not know that these are the new practices, then how they are going to adopt it? So, awareness is the first stage or responsibility of the communicator. Second is, you have to develop interest in them. First you have made them aware, after that you have to create interest. Interest means that they should be able to start discussing about that information which you have released to them, and they have become aware themselves. They would like to discuss, and then the interest has to be created in them. How do we create interest as a development communicator? We tell them the advantages, how it will be beneficial to them, what type of benefits they will get out of it, how it will help them in further growth. So, there can be several ways of creating interest in the individuals. Third thing is, which is said, evaluation. Now, any individual or any member of the society would like to evaluate the new practice, whether this new evaluation of new practice gives him the good results or he would like to watch it. Therefore, the action has to be taken so that they can understand how, in terms of cost, in terms of benefit, in terms of advantages, they are able to perceive it, that this is a real beneficial activity which this should enter into it. And then next stage is trial. What does trial means? Trial means that you should be able to see that innovative practice, how does it work? Maybe through a demonstration, maybe through a showing the activities to them, then it becomes as if they can see it. As the old Chinese proverb, seeing is believing. If I see, I believe. So, if you can show them the activity, then they will believe much faster. You may talk 100 times about its advantages and all that, but if you are shown only once the whole activity, then they will not only believe, but they will be able to adopt it. So, the adoption is the final stage of the diffusion process. So, what are the stages? Let me summarize for you. First was the awareness, second was the interest, third was the evaluation, fourth is the trial, and fifth is the adoption. Development communicator must take the listeners or target audience through these 5 stages. Otherwise, if he is not able to take them, then the people will be jumping over these stages and they will get confused. So, therefore, systematically development communicator should take the target audience first to awareness stage, then interest stage, then evaluation stage, then trial, and then ultimately he should see the adoption take place. So, therefore, now you can see development communication process goes through these stages, and these stages have been identified at several places, involved in several activities. Take care of these 5 stages in case of adoption of new process. Now let us come to the diffusion theory. In case of the earlier, we identified 5 stages. Now here in diffusion theory, they have categorized audience into a new category. For example, they have said in target audience there are some innovators. Innovators means the people, the persons, members of the society who adopts innovation by taking a leading role. Why do they take leading role? Because they have the quality of leadership, they want to try out new things, they are open to the society, and therefore those are called innovators. They want to innovate certain things by using the same type of combinations for their benefit. They are always willing to take risks, because if you adopt some new thing, you might get involved into the risk taking or risks for using new things. So therefore, the innovators are willing to take risk. Why they are willing to take risk? Because no risk, no gain. If you take the risk, you have every chance of getting the gains. You will get something out of it. So risk does not mean that every time you lose. Risk also means that every time you may win, you may get new ideas, you may understand the new practices. Therefore, the people who take leading roles, they come much faster, and they say we have the first, so name them as innovators. Second is the type of people are early adopters. Innovators are the first. Second is early adopters. This means the people who adopts early in comparison to the people who adopt late. They may take some only very few weeks or few hours to adopt the certain things. They are called early adopters. And third category is early majority. What does it early majority means? It means people who follow the activity, who adopt the activity, they are in majority. Most of the people are majority development communicators, communicating the information to them. And third or fourth, let us say majority. So innovators was the first category, as I have shown you. Second category was early adopters. Third is early majority. Fourth is majority. And fifth is laggards. Laggards are those people who adopt the things in last. When everybody has adopted it, then they adopt it, or they do not adopt it at all, because they are say no, we will see later on, and like that, out of their laziness they do not adopt it. So these 5 types of target audience, which has to be understood by you when you are taking up the diffusion model for communicating the information. Then let us come to the new theory of empathy. What does empathy means? I think you have heard the word sympathy. Sympathy means to show your concern to the person who is in trouble or who is facing some situation. Therefore, you sympathize with him. Suppose a person on the road has met with an accident, and then you want to give him some help, that is sympathy. Or if you see a beggar asking for some help, you give him some coin, that is sympathy. Empathy is more deeper word. Empathy means you put yourself into the shoes of others. The person who is suffering, think that if I would have been in this situation, then what I would have expected from the people. That means expectation of the people from you as development communicator. So, development communicator must take into account the empathy of the people, putting himself into the conditions in which the target audience is there, target audience is living, and then try to act on that information. So, that is empathy. Now, empathy is very important in development communication, because development communication is basically meant to develop the society. And when you are putting your inputs, communication inputs, you will have to see that empathetic or empathy should be involved in the whole process of communication. As you know, and we have discussed also, change is a slow process. Why it is slow process? Every individual takes time to understand, to get real meaning out of it, to get the knowledge, to sharpen their skills, change their attitude, all these things which has to be taken care of. So, in development communication, theory of empathy plays a major role, and that must be understood. So, theory of empathy also indicates that the factors related with sociological, cultural, psychological, economic situations of the individuals, of the society, which has to be taken care of, whatever new practices you are getting, and you have to take care of it. So, innovation, even if you find it is not going as per se of the target audience, then you must tailor it. You must cut it or you reshape it in such a manner so that it suits to their needs. Suppose you find your project is becoming very expensive for the society or society members to bear it, then you must think how to cut the cost so that it becomes less expensive and they are able to adopt it. That care is to be taken. So, that is the basically theory of empathy which takes place, which we have to be very careful about it. I must say that in daily life, general way, we try to analyze it, we find that these are the things which are working with all of us. You take any example, daily life example also. For example, let us take up a daily example related to the diffusion process, where I said that awareness, interest, evaluation, trial and adoption take place. I take a daily example. Let us say you go to a place where you want to buy a piece of cloth for your shirt. Now you enter into the shop, there is a salesman standing there and he observes you and he asks you what you want, and you say, I want a piece of shirt. Then he says, all right, what is your range, price range? And you tell some price range. He says, no, you show me. Now he has hundred of clothes in his shop. He can't open all the clothes and show you. Then how does he decide what cloth has to be shown? He observes you and he finds you that a particular type of shirt you are wearing, which has a particular type of design, colors and type of clothes. Or he observes you what are the things you are seeing in his shop and where your eyes are catching it, and he takes out that piece of cloth and show you. And then he tells you this is a new cloth design has come up, this is the latest and all that. So what he is doing? He is creating awareness in you. Then he wants to create interest. Then what he does in creating interest? Then he says this is a brand item, this is the cheapest in the market and it will fit in your budget, in your price range, and it is a cloth which is very strong and all sorts of things. He tries to convince you and helps you in evaluation, and he says, well sir, yeah, of course this is expensive cloth, but it will last long. So in longer time, this will be at least 5 years, it will work for you. So it cost doesn't matter at this time, it is expensive of course, but in the long run it becomes cheaper than comparing the other types of cloth. So he is helping you to evaluate by giving you the cost, expenditure and mentioning it to you. And next was trial. Well, how does it help you in trial? He puts that cloth on you. He says, sir, you come forward, and he put that and says, please see yourself in mirror and how it looks attractive for you. That is trial. After he goes through all this successfully, then you purchase that cloth. That is adoption. It means that the awareness stage, interest stage, evaluation, trial stage, that salesman understands all these stages and takes you very cleverly without knowing, understanding that he is taking you through these stages and sees that ultimately you purchase the cloth. What I am trying to say is this, that these stages are very important. As a development communicator also, when you are taking a new practice to the society, maybe in health practices, maybe agriculture practices, maybe his professional industrial practices, you will have to go through these 5 stages, you will have to make them aware. Our polio case, which you must have seen and observed yourself, how successfully it has been done in India. They have gone through all these stages. They make the first people aware about polio vaccine, advantages, disadvantages through various media, through newspapers, through radio, through television, and they brought celebrities also to talk about its advantage and all. So first they create awareness, then they created interest, saying that this, if you take the polio vaccine, give it to your child, it will help in this. and then they say they will not cost you anything. You just bring the child to the hospital or place where polio vaccine is given, or you inform us, our person will come and give you 3 drops of the polio, and like that. So therefore, what I am trying to mention is a development communicator will have to see how I can take my target audience through these stages and what communication input I should use so that they can successfully go through these stages and information is communicated to them. That is the importance which we have to understand in this case. Now we have talked of theory of empathy. Now the latest theory which is being used, theory of entertainment. Now basic principles of learning says that people learn faster if the entertainment is used as a channel of communication. While they are playing, they learn faster. Even it is said, for in case of children, if you want to tell them or say I will teach you this, then they will hesitate. But if you say, all right, there is a game you want to play with me, I will teach you how to play this game, then the child is attracted because he basically likes playing games. And through games you teach him whatever principles you want to teach him or theory you want to teach him, and he will learn it, he will remember it. So therefore, the latest example of that question answer sessions which are being used, like the example is Karolpati. Now if you want to Karolpati, you answer these questions. If your question answer correct, you get the prize. This is sort of entertainment as well as you are giving him the awards. So people use it mostly the viewers use it as entertainment. They learn it through it and lot of information goes on. This is a very effective method of communication. The only difficulty is the development communicator has to treat the message. He will have to modify the message according to this theory. He has to turn into games, and through games he, without people remembering that they were learning it, they will learn the theories very. In our good olden days, puppetry, street plays, folk drama, songs, storytelling, so many types of these things. Notanki, whatever you name, in all the states of India, there are different types of folk songs, folk poems, folk dramas, through which they communicate to the people lot of new things. Even if puppetry has been found a very effective method of communication, communicating the information to the people. So through these methods, through whether you are using radio, television or newspaper, you can design your messages with entertainment and put to the audience through following the theory of entertainment. When you put the messages to them following a theory of entertainment, you will find that the learning takes place at a faster speed and your purpose is solved. Nowadays you must have been watching on television the latest campaign, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Now how beautifully they have developed a song on Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and through songs these children are communicating, wash your hands, and there is a song which has been devised by them and through which the information flows. So my dear friends, the theory of entertainment is also one of the very good method of communication, and India has been using it as soon as we are going forward, development communicator are bringing new methods of communication using in development of the people. And I gave you the latest example is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, where the development communicators, just to keep the place clean, they are using interpersonal communication, they are using mass media, and in mass media they are also using.
With this note, we would like to thank you, sir, because we have no time left with us, but thank you so very much for putting all the excellent examples with the help of which we are able to understand about development communication. And I would like to tell you all that Professor Kishore would be again with us tomorrow, and we would be getting a deep insight into this very topic, and we would be learning more through him. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.